off to Ghana now. Niger's newly installed military has said it would respond immediately to any aggression or attempted aggression. The warning comes 3 days before the expiry of an ultimatum by the regional bloc, Ecowas, to restore order. Yesterday, thousands of people took to the streets of the capital, Niamey, in peaceful demonstrations backing the coup and criticizing other West African countries for imposing financial and trade sanctions on Niger. The update live, we'll get an update live now from SABC News correspondent Nabil Rufai, who's joining us from Accra in Ghana. What can you tell us about the situation as we currently speak?
Well, the situation is that Niger is currently suffering some power cuts. Now, it comes because the regional bloc ECOWAS threatened sanctions and is going forward with it. Niger is bordered with Nigeria, and Nigeria actually supplies Niger with power. And now that we are experiencing power cuts in Niger, it goes to explain that Nigeria is actually stopping the supply of power from its country to Niger. And aside that, we understanding that the U.S. government is still mounting pressure on the junta leader to release the ousted president, Mohamed Bazoum, who is still being detained. And ECOWAS has already threatened military intervention if the junta leader does not release the ousted president or even release him from their custody and also reinstate him as the president. But it appears that the junta leader is not backing down, and he also is getting support from other West African countries like Mali and Burkina Faso, who also suffered some coup and are currently being led by military rulers. So Senegal, for instance, has backed the ECOWAS call for a military intervention and has said that it is ready to send in its troops to fight the cause if it comes to that. But there are other security analysts who are saying that that would not be the best intervention for now, and dialogue is quite important at the moment. So it's quite an easy come in Niger as this back and forth with the Western powers, ECOWAS, and also all the pressure being mounted on the junta leader to really release the ousted president.
And is it clear as yet what the intention from the coup leader, General Abdourahmane, is, considering as well that we still don't know about President Mohamed Bazoum's whereabouts, clearly stated, but also what the intention is? Is it only to keep him imprisoned? Is there going to be a criminal trial at some point?
For now, that is not explicitly clear, but what we know is that the junta leader is not willing to release the ousted president as yet until he gets some things right for himself, because we know that he's actually warned against foreign interference on what is currently going on in Niger, and has rallied support from some civil society organizations and then ordinary Nigerians to protest against any foreign intervention or meddling with regard to the current situation. So it's quite unclear why the delay in releasing the ousted president, Mohamed Bazoum. But it can be just a matter of time for us to really clearly understand what his motive for really detaining him is. But for what it's worth, is not looking to listen to the Western powers or even the regional bloc, ECOWAS, who are mounting pressure on him to really reinstate the ousted president, Mohamed Bazoum.
And ECOWAS also coming under a lot of criticism because some people are arguing that it failed to do exactly the same that it intends to do now with Niger when it came to Mali as well as Burkina Faso. We know, for instance, with Mali, that there were the sanctions and Mali was expelled, but then that was lifted at some particular point. I wonder, with the negotiations right now underway, whether we could see something similar actually playing out, even though the African Union itself has also said that there should be the African standby force in case they are needed.
Indeed, ECOWAS is receiving this backlash because of how it handled the situation in Mali and Burkina Faso, first imposing sanctions and then negotiating with the coup leaders and all. But it appears to now is trying to change its modus operandi, or how it handles such coup, because it has become one too many. And there are security analysts who are saying it's for the fact that ECOWAS was very soft when it comes to Mali and Burkina Faso. That's how come you know, there was an attempted coup in Guinea, and then now Niger has actually had the coup. So it appears ECOWAS is not really strong on the ground when it comes to really preventing such coups. And this time around, they are trying to do things differently. That's why they've decided to threaten Niger with a military intervention if they do not heed to the ECOWAS call for reinstatement of the ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. But it's really a situation that ECOWAS has really not been able to tackle for a very long time, because Burkina Faso, for instance, had its coup. Mali had multiple coups within 2020 and 2022. So we are just hoping that it would bite when it comes to the threat of this military intervention, and that could send a strong signal to the entire regional bloc that ECOWAS would not really lay low when it comes to really enforcing either economic sanctions or military intervention, just to stop all these destabilizing of democratic process in the region.